Welcome back everywhere to the Join Dota League season number 4, the lower bracket for the Division 1 and 2 playoffs, where basically Unknown is facing xGame currently, and they are one game ahead as well. So looks like eBattle's betting has been correct, putting them at 61% as the advantage. Of course, I mean, betting isn't always like calculated. Sometimes you're like, oh, it's my favorite team, totally gonna bet on them. Doesn't matter if they lose, but basically Unknown definitely were extremely dominant in game number 1. But coming into game 2, we'll see what xGame is capable of. We're of course HeflaTV, I'm Coucher, and once again joined by Mike Lores. Do you think xGame going for the first pick Magnus was the correct choice?
Well, I think staying in your comfort zone is definitely something that xGame should try to do as best as they can. You mentioned at the end of last game, a Naga Siren definitely possible here, as Mantis does love that hero quite a bit. So staying in your comfort zone, I think, is probably a little bit more important than last game. If you just flush out the last game from your mind, just try to start fresh, then the Mag Vengeful Spirit pick, even though it might be a little bit of an early mag, does open them up for quite a few strategies down the line. We didn't really see it last game. The Empower value wasn't necessarily there, but it does have a lot of synergy with the Faceless Voids, with the Vengeful Spirit's ability to amplify physical damage. So there's going to be a lot of deeps coming out from xGame, and well, basically Unknown, they're going to first pick up the Brewmaster. The hard thing about looking at last game is that basically Unknown were doing so well on heroes that aren't really top picks. So you don't really want to ban them out, but sometimes you just gotta.
Yeah, and well, at the moment as well, Queen of Pain, probably that is one of the reasons that it got banned out as well, of course. Just 100% a respect ban. If your enemy Queen of Pain can go 26-0, you just got to ban that out. I mean, it's not like they didn't have ways to deal with it. It wasn't like a Queen of Pain 5th pick to make or to punish the lack of lockdown or something. The opposite, 4 heroes had ways to stun up a Queen of Pain. Lion, even 2 of the abilities could do so. Yet just, they managed to make it so the Queen of Pain survived the entirety of the game. And basically now banning out a Slaughter. That's, I mean, I guess there could have been a minus armor strategy of swords coming out. Vengeful Spirit already there. Also Slithering Crush and AoE stun to follow a reverse polarity, but was the Slaughter really a necessity of a ban?
I mean, as you said, it is really good with what xGame have, and that stun combination between Slaughter, Mag RP, and Magic Missile is pretty good. The problem is that Slaughter is, in general, a little bit of an underwhelming hero, so though it would fit pretty well, or the hero would fit pretty well into what xGame have, the chances of them actually picking it up, especially being a game down, are just so incredibly low. But at the same time, basically Unknown, they crushed xGame in the last game. Maybe they're okay with playing this a little bit fast and loose with their bans. Phantom Assassin, though, I'd say that's definitely warranted. That combos with the Magnus and Vengeful Spirit so darn well.
Yeah, it most certainly does, but xGame now going for a Disruptor. It is nice to get the Kinetic Field Static Storm to follow that reverse polarity. Also, that Static Storm is excellent in dealing with the Brewmaster, of course, as well. They just need to maybe get a little bit more damage to make sure the Brewmaster dies within that Static Storm. But they have plenty of chances to do so. At the moment though, basically Unknown themselves, they have the one support. Are we gonna see a Skyrive Mage again? Potentially, definitely Ancient Seal is great with that Lion into the Finger of Death, of course, or might we see something like a Witch Doctor, or is there any supports you would prefer? Maybe even pick up a Jungler of sorts?
I'm still liking the Skywrath Mage here. Fucking Mad's Lion is pretty good, so Magoma just grabbing that hero already being warmed up and everything is going to be pretty nice. And up against the Mag, it's going to be pretty nice to shut down those early Blink skewers. Shutting down a Blink RP a little bit more difficult, but possible. If you get that done, then you're going to be very happy. So Skywrath Mage is also kind of a preemptive ban pick towards an expected Naga Siren, as we were mentioning before. Really, you don't really want to go all in and try to counter a hero that's not picked up, but if you take a hero that is still very strong and coincidentally also strong against what xGame are very likely to pick up, then I think you should probably go for that. Or go for the Ogre Magi. Magoma is an Ogre Magi god, so that's good too.
Yeah, Ogre Magi, man, that is definitely, like you said, Magoma's hero. That's his jam, pretty much, but xGame themselves will have a Slark now. We were thinking that Slark might have been the pickup for them last game also, having the Magnus already. But this time around, it's gonna be a reality. Slark definitely decent up against the Hex. If you get your Dark Pact off before, you don't care about it at all. Also, just so damn slippery, but to be honest, from the time when Ogre Magi was like the go-to hero even first picked, he was a reasonably good hero up against Slark, especially once you get the Aghanim Scepter. So we'll see if this Slark will be able to survive what basically Unknown has.
I mean, he has a stun, and that's always good versus the Slark. The stun does come out a little bit slowly, but the burst damage of multicast is something that is always there, but it's very easy to overlook because it is by no means a guaranteed burst of damage where you compare that to a Finger of Death. You press the button and the enemy probably dies. So between Ogre, Magi, and Lion, the burst damage from these supports at Basically Unknown is incredibly high, and they're probably going to be looking to brawl quite often whenever you have an Ogre Magi. That should be part of your game plan. And overall, these brawlers should be taking an edge, a slight edge over the Disruptor Vengeful Spirit on the other end. Vengeful Spirit, a decent brawler. Disruptor really doesn't want to be doing that. So I would expect Basically Unknown to be playing this pretty aggressively and maybe trying to pressure this Slark as much as they can. They probably aren't going to go full on aggressive. Oh, okay, maybe they are. Axe is going to be the pick. Basically Unknown going to turn up the heat this game.
I cannot believe Axe made it this far. Usually it's either banned or picked up earlier. I was expecting it to even be banned now. Sometimes you just don't really focus all that much on bans. You just expect some kind of heroes to not make it through this far into the stage. Still though, Axe definitely, like you mentioned, will be nice for the aggression. Also a fairly tanky hero. Disruptor is decent against him though. He blinks in, gets the Berserker's Call, you glimpse him out to make sure at least the Culling Blade will not follow. So xGame, they will have that working for them. But Basically Unknown, this once again opens up a chance for them, or well, maybe not again for them, but if it's an Axe offlane, they at least have him to just go into the jungle if the offlane is horrible, which it probably will be.
Offlane not looking too fun for this Axe, and next game they're going to grab the Bat Rider after having secured the Vengeful Spirit, so that the enemy team doesn't grab that. So initiation is now up on both ends. Something that the Axe also does in this particular game especially is shut down the Slark Shadow Dance, and there are very few heroes that can do that, and Axe is probably one of the best at doing so. So it's a nice little combo, or get a nice little counter there for Basically Unknown. Having to deal with the Bat Rider though, and it's going to once again be a game where initiation is going to be key. I feel like in all these fights, unless a team gets a substantial lead, like the lead that we saw in the last game, whoever gets the initiation first is just going to be winning. Even though Bat Rider has, counters on the other end, Fire Blast, Hex, both pretty good, it's just going to be pretty much an initiation coin toss.
Yeah, it's always nice to see such games, to be honest. It's also where like the supports have to give it all, just because they have to get the wards down, they have to get the vision going to make sure you're the ones not getting jumped. But Basically Unknown, going for a Spectre as their last hero, to be honest, it's not that bad of a choice, because xGame, you said that, well, both teams to be honest reliant on the initiation, but Spectre, he can screw it all up with one button. Just press your R, get the haunt going, disable the blink daggers, and that might just give you the advantage you need.
And Paris, he's generally a little bit more comfortable playing the harder carries, so Spectre is going to be a hero that fits right into his wheelhouse. It's a hero that benefits really heavily from extra Bloodlust, because attack speed for Spectre equals damage whenever you're packing that Desolate. You're going to be cutting through the likes of Vengeful Spirit Disruptor with ease, so it's going to be a very standard or very old 4 protect 1 strategy coming out for Basically Unknown. But the 4 that are protecting 1, like, you don't want to be messing with these 4 guys. Lion and Ogre Magi with a ton of burst damage, a ton of lockdown. Of course, Axe and Brewmaster, damn near impossible to kill, plus they'll mess up your day. So it's a pretty good lineup crafted by Basically Unknown. And, well, for xGame, they have a little bit more of a scattered strategy, but all these heroes working together with the Empower, Slark, with the Vengeful Spirit, minus armor, plus damage. It's a lot of synergy with that Slark, and if he gets to a decent start, Mantis can pretty much single-handedly hold down this game.
Just, okay, we have a random rogue in the lobby or something. I'm not too sure who he is, but it's funny that the admin is asking him to leave. Oh god, fun times, man, fun times.
Probably should have been doing that before the game started, maybe. Who knows?
Probably so, but we did have a tiny disconnect on Arise. Already has reconnected though. Not too sure what the pause is even about. Or never mind, it is the admin telling that player to leave. So the teams themselves, I'm not too sure if they have some issues. Hopefully they're gonna use this pause time, not wait for this pause time, and then they're like, oh, I just remembered I have to like let the dog in or something.
My dog's inside. We're good.
In this game though, which lineup do you favor now? Just purely based on the picks?
Purely based off of the picks, it's I'm gonna say xGame have a slightly better lineup just purely off of the picks, as Spectre is just such a risky hero to have. Sometimes she'll kill everyone, sometimes she'll be an absolutely useless hero, and I think that is just a little bit too risky for my taste. I think xGame, they have heroes that are generally going to perform a lot more consistently than that of Unknown.
It's a pretty valid point to bring out for sure. So I think xGame looking a tiny bit better as well. I know they're maybe a little bit too reliant on just their early mid game working out wonders for them, especially getting those early blink tags on both the Axe and the Brewmaster to help them out. Just Spectre, he needs so much space early on. If Unknown can grant him that, might all be perfectly fine, but even if they get the space, just xGame, once they get their own blink daggers, Batrider is just such a huge threat. And Stalcat, Batrider at least used to be more or less his scariest hero, so we'll see if he's rusty or if he's still up to his game.
Yeah, even though I favor xGame's draft, I gotta favor basically Unknown after last game's display. It's hard to say that they're going to be losing this game, although it is very, very possible. They just showed up and basically rocked xGame, so we'll see what's actually going to happen, and we might have a little bit of a level 1 squabble, but no, both sides going to back off once again. On the xGame side, down 1 game to basically Unknown. Mantis is going to be handling the hard carry. Slark Reeves is going to be on the Disruptor supporting. Big Gnome is also going to be doing that as the Vengeful Spirit. Stalcat, as you said, on the Bat Rider, and over towards the mid lane, it's going to be Jason Rise once again, playing that mag mid.
As for Unknown, fucking mad, playing the support lion. If he gets Earth Spikes as well as he did the Sand King's Pearl Strikes, they're gonna be just golden. As Paris, Soxka playing the Brewmaster, man fighting Stalcat already, probably no kill potential there. Magoma, of course, on his favorite Ogre Magi, leaving Mind Control to head towards the mid lane on the Spectre, and Sexy Mabo on the Axe. That's... wow, mid lane Spectre, man.
Well, if you look at xGame's draft, you could expect either the Slark there or Magnus, and well, Unknown, they have a good read. They know that the Magnus is going to be there. Again, he's not really going to be dominating lanes anytime soon, Mag. He's just going to be doing decently. That being said, Mind Control's Spectre is, or Spectre in general, is one of the weakest laners in the game possible.
Stalcat.
So Stalcat towards top, yeah, is in a little bit of trouble. He has boots first, so he's going to be fine from this, but still getting really roughed up, and he has no salve, so that's going to be pretty inconvenient. But Mind Control in the mid lane is expected to lose this, as he is always in danger because of a random skewer back.
It's just not that great of a lane. To be honest, even against the Slark, I still would have preferred the Slark probably over the Mind Control, but Magnus going for that early point into Empower as well. That is what I expected even in game number 1, although up against Queen of Pain, don't really have the luxury to just go up there and farm things up. But that's what Arise's Magnus is known for, just going for the Empower, going for it like a Battle Fury build, something like that. So maybe this time around we're going to see a proper Battle Magnus.
And up against the Spectre, he'll be getting a lot more farm, and he'll have a lot more opportunities to get that done. Over towards the bottom lane, Bambo and Magoma. These are two very, very hard heroes for the xGame side to kill, because they are kind of light on damage. Bambo dropping a little bit low, but the tankiness of these heroes, their ability to just run at you, and then, you know, just do that. They're good. They just run at you, and you're probably going to die in some way, shape, or form. So xGame have to play this bottom lane very, very delicately, as usually tri-lanes beat dual lanes. That's, you know, a go-to rule of thumb, but this is one of those situations where it's not necessarily going to be the case.
Yeah, like I said, they are just such tanky heroes, and Ignite early on is extremely great for you. So next time around, xGame, if they go for a pull, especially a double pull through, you have to be really wary of their own positioning as supports. Otherwise, maybe a Battle Hunger, although it's not skilled up yet. But just an Ignite with that Fire Blast to follow and maybe Berserker's Call, it should be enough to kill a paper support like a Disruptor or Revenge.
And there's nothing, or they could try to throw glimpses and magic missiles in there to try to mess all of that up, but the odds of it actually working with that amount of disable from Unknown is going to be pretty slim. So they're going to be, of course, disrupting the pulls as well. That's something that Axe can do very efficiently. And it looks like Unknown, they're going to be rotating fucking Mad over towards the mid lane, making it a Lion Spectre dual lane up against Mag. I don't really like this. I feel like if you put the Brewmaster in the mid lane, all your problems are solved. But I guess this is kind of a janky workaround, because Brewmaster's getting free farm up top lane, which is very nice, of course. A fast Blink Dagger can get you quite a bit, but would you rather have a Brewmaster getting free farm or a Spectre getting absolute free farm? I think the answer is pretty clear there.
Yeah, and not only that, that would make it so that Lion has access to the pools, which means he can get his own level 6 a little bit faster possibly as well, or at least make it so that if he gets level 6, he hasn't leached away XP from anybody else. So I think just changing lanes would have been excellent, because Brewmaster, I don't think Blink Dagger is going to be that much faster when he's farming safe lane considered to when he would have been mid lane up against that Magnus.
I just don't really see any advantages to doing this. There's substantial disadvantages, in fact. So I'm not really sure. It's going to be a lot of pressure falling upon the Brewmaster to buy space. Getting a fast Blink Dagger, as I said, is going to be very nice for the team, but it has to be so much better in this particular game versus any other given game, because your mid lane is going to be relatively dead as far as her ability to contribute to these fights. So still, we have a 0-kill game. Batrider has been forced out of the top lane. It's going to be Magoma actually in a little bit of trouble. Jason looking for a skewer back. He will land it, bringing him right into Mantis. Magoma's best chance right now is denying himself for a Roshan, but that's not going to happen. First blood going to be drawn by the Slark.
Yeah, really Slark, a hugely momentum-based hero as well, so don't really want to give away a first blood to that, but beautiful skewer, pounds perfectly timed there as well, or perfectly angled, I guess, for that case. Jason now himself gets himself a high ground ward, so he's going to be able to spot out unknown support if the Lion is even going to come back. But Lion being there now did buy enough time for Mind Control to catch up in lasted, so that's a positive. We'll have his own bottle now. But Spectre not even the best bottle carrier in all fairness, to be honest. I mean, still some mana region will be nice, but it's still just Brewmaster mid would have been like 2-3 times better, I think.
Well, I mean, you have the bottle, which means infinite mana, which means that maxing out Spectral Dagger is something that you can do. The problem is that Spectral Dagger is actually just a terrible skill, so you never really want to be doing that. And even though the Spectral Dagger is going to help her secure a couple of kills down the line, generally maxing out Desolate is going to be preferable. So it's going to be a janky Spectre game for sure. Glimpse back on a Bambo down towards the bottom lane. Magic Missile is going to connect. Pounce is going to connect. Bambo's going to call, but there's nothing here to help him spin. He's going to be brought down. Vengeful Spirit going to claim that one. And Unknown's bottom lane is not looking too tight. They haven't really gone for a coordinated, aggressive play versus the xGame side.
I definitely expected Unknown, especially with Sexy Mamo being on that offlane, to go a lot more aggressive, to be honest, with the Ogre backing him up. But Magoma hasn't been around for some time now, and, well, we can see the results of it. Sexy Mamo almost immediately losing his life thanks to that. Does have his Tranquil Boots though and can go into his jungle if he really wants to. Stalket in the meantime, up on the top lane, has 13 last hits, probably most of them being from the jungle, I think. Fakimata will have a Hex if he wants to use it, never mind, Earth Spike first. But Stalket already activated Firefly, so they're going to leave it be for now. Might be able to get himself the double stack, but Blink Dagger, well, 6 minutes in, that is fast, to be honest.
Very fast Blink Dagger and a very fast level 6. Brewmaster's ultimate, the faster you get it, the better it's going to be, and in this game it's going to be no exception. So what I would like to see from Paris is just abandon the lane, swap with Mind Control, try to make some fights happen with the power of that split, and give Mind Control a little bit more space, and he'll have mana to haunt pretty much always because he has that bottle. If you're sitting on a Blink Dagger ever, you're probably going to be wasting time. If you're sitting on a split, you're also going to be wasting time. If you're sitting on both, you're going to be very, very unhappy. So Paris is now officially the strongest hero in the game, and that's something that basically Unknown pretty much have to run with. I mean, Bambo's going to be getting farm. Magoma's trying to leech experience down towards the bottom lane, so they're not going to be in a terrible condition right now, but still they could be getting so much more done. Stallcat, he's now effectively forced out of lane, and I guess that's nice having the threat of Brewmaster, but the threat of a split is not the same as actually using the split to get kills.
Yeah, well, most certainly so, and suddenly Slark has himself the Hand of Midas. Not the fastest one because he didn't completely rush it, has a Ring of Passive, Format Shield and Boots before that, but still 7 minutes in, not too bad of a timing at all, so Slark will get the guaranteed levels, the guaranteed farm. And so far, for Mantis, this game is a huge improvement from game number 1, Wraith King, at least for the early game.
Yeah, man, he's pretty much going PvE mode right now. He's going to be killing all the neutral creeps and trying to get all that fat loot, and there's not much that Unknown are willing to do versus this Slark. I mean, you have to invest quite a bit if you actually want to kill him off ever. Finger of Death is going to make things a lot easier. Blink Dagger on Axe going to make things a lot easier, but both of those are pretty far away right now. So Slark is going to be very safe to just sit back and farm, and in the meantime, Magnus is also doing something very similar. He is well on his way towards a Blink Dagger of his own, and a 8-minute Blink Dagger is not necessarily a 6-minute Blink Dagger, but still, Paris has yet to use his. So Mag, though he is going to pick up his Blink Dagger later, he might just get the first Blink Dagger usage in first.
Yeah, and like I said, it just doesn't matter who gets it first. It's just who gets to use it first is all that matters. And, well, at least Stalket isn't all that close to his own. Doesn't have or hasn't had too many stacks to work with. So there's a Blink for a Rise now, but Stalket, until he gets his own, it's still not that scary because RP is a rather long cooldown, and usually maybe they shouldn't leave it for like a special occasion. Going for solo kills, especially this early on, and if you can get the core, it's gonna be worth it to just one-man RP even. But some players just
It-
don't want to do so.
RP onto Mind Control. There's an Earth Spike so that there's no skewer back, but the stuns are there. Mind Control still in a lot of trouble. Will haunt all the way down to the bottom lane, but Mantis now has an opportunity to get a kill. Over in the meantime, mid lane, Reeves is going to be in a lot of trouble. He will get brought down by the Paris. Brewmaster has already used the split. Bignum stuck in a corner, will also be brought down, and Spectre somehow slipped away from that Slark, making it 2 kills for Unknown. And somehow that worked out really well for them. You don't want to be haunting or relocating into a Slark ever, but somehow Mind Control escapes from that situation, and Paris comes in, uses his Blink Dagger, and, well, it's clearly Brewmaster take a slight edge there. But also, that fight went so well for Unknown because Lion was there for that spike. A skewer back would have meant a kill on Spectre.
Yeah, it would have been like 100% guaranteed kill, and Unknown, I don't think there would have been a return in sight. Not only that though, fucking Mad, with that kill, with being present for it, he's suddenly level 6, so Finger of Death is available for them. Axe in the meantime, only 500 gold short of his Blink Dagger also. So things are looking pretty nice up just suddenly. Before that, it was xGame getting the kills, getting the early Blink Dagger on Arise. Blink Dagger still scary, you can still blink skewer, although without the reverse pirate it's a lot harder to actually land it. But they will have that available if need be. Also Magoma, he's level 6 now on the Ogre Magi, farming up on the safe lane. So Unknown, they just maybe got their things going now. Their laning is a little bit better, just giving XP and gold to the supports also. Mind Control mid lane might be a little bit vulnerable to just ganks, but he's gonna be fine until Stalker gets a blink, I think.
He has one Observer Ward covering him. It's not necessarily going to give him full vision over the other side of the river, but it will be enough for him to farm okay over in the mid lane. And, well, Spectre is kind of putting yourself at risk because there's a top lane where you could farm and be very, very safe, but as long as you're getting farm as anyone, you're going to be fine to get farm, and risk or not, if you survive, you're going to be happy. So that's going pretty well for the Unknown side. Bambo getting messed up by a couple of hard creeps. Going to leave his Tranquil Boots behind. You never really want to be doing that, but Axe is very close to his Blink Dagger as well. And once that happens, Unknown will just have another counter to the initiation power of xGame. But for right now, Stallcat has his. So Blink Dagger race is on, and it looks like xGame are going to assemble their Blink Daggers just a little bit faster, but they're not using it quite as well.
Yeah, and Spectre doesn't have the greatest network still either, really. It's not like, oh, there's the reverse pirate, he catches two with the skewered back. They need the fallout though, kinetic field a little bit short of it, and with the haunt, he's gonna be safe for now. Reeves does get slowed down, and blink, thunderclap, arise. I don't think there's gonna be escape, or maybe Magoma is gonna get lassoed up with the pounce to follow. Jason does lose his life, but Paris gonna have to prime split purely defensively, I think. If he catches somebody, I'm gonna be extremely surprised. 6 Memo does have a blink though, so maybe Blink Berserker's got Reeves. I guess he's gonna be a casualty. To the high ground he goes though. Can he dunk from the high ground? Not in range. And now Mind Control, he came back to the fight. He's gonna run away immediately so though. But it's gonna be a 2-4-2 in the end, I think.
Yep, still the score, 4-4, and Mind Control once again got out of there alive, grabbed a haste rune of all things, and was able to rejoin quickly. They're going to reinitiate over in the mid lane where Bignum's in a lot of trouble, actually stuck around for way too long. The double blinkers of Paris and Bambo going to shut down that soft, squishy support, and Unknown going to take a very slight lead in that. xGame, they did bring Mantis in. He got a couple kills, now sitting at 3-0-1. That's pretty much exactly what Slark wants to be doing. Pretty similar to the Spectre. They're still going to be pretty happy, but overall Unknown barely scrape out an advantage in that fight, and mostly it's because of this farmed Brewmaster and his fast Blink Dagger. His ability to wait on that split is something that most Brewmasters don't have the luxury of doing, but because he is in such a comfortable position with Power Tread's Vlad's, he is able to do that, and just more right clicks in your main form and then getting a split off it is some serious value. Even though their Lion died first thing, he got no spells off, they were able to take a decent fight, Unknown.
Yeah, it's just the fact that even if the kinetic field had been there properly, it still wouldn't have meant a kill onto the Spectres because he did haunt out once again. Second time around they tried to go for a kill, second time he haunted out. Still though, now Disruptor is also level 6, so if there's another just similar opportunity, he might die, but Mantis, he's gonna get Berserker's Call, he cut off his ultimate to fucking Mad. He's gonna get lassoed up in the meantime. Can they pound 60 Momo? Never mind, the glimpse will be enough, I believe, although he's trying to TP out. Smart choice, but the flame break will be there in time. So it's gonna be 2 kills, maybe the dunk. Oh god, he needed so little more, but couldn't quite get the dunk, so nice 2 kills for xGame.
Haunt's gonna try to snipe Mantis, but that's not gonna happen with, what, 1 point in Desolate? 2 points? Yeah, it's just not gonna happen, so it was very, very fast fingers for Mantis, and I would say most of the time, if you're an Axe there, or if you're the Axe line, you get that kill on the Slark, just because it is so difficult to anticipate that, but Slark with incredible reaction time is going to not only survive, but walk away from that situation with 2 more kills for his team, 1 straight up kill for himself, so Unknown kind of getting blindsided by just good plays of xGame, and also you don't really expect there to be that many heroes there for xGame. Like, what are the chances of 4 heroes being there where the entire map is free to farms? It's a gank that Unknown would most of the time get away with, but this is just one of those times where it doesn't work.
Yeah, because of that as well, Axe, he's not snowballing at the moment in the slightest. I mean, 0, 2, and 1 is the KDA for him. They might smoke up, which is exactly what they do. They have the Finger of Death off cooldown. They have the possibility to multicast if Magoma is lucky enough, but as we all know, Magoma only multicasts when it's utterly necessary for the team. But can they even find anything? So far, they're going in the complete wrong direction.
Yeah, this top lane has been devoid of heroes for a great portion of this game, actually. Like, neither side really wanting to commit heroes up to the top lane, which is kind of weird to see from Unknown. Mind Control now jungling instead of farming the top lane, even though they have an Observer Ward there, which is pretty weird. Mantis is going to be going into the Hornet's Nest, maybe. No, he's going to decide to go the other way. So Mantis is going to continuously farm up the mid lane, and maybe the rest of xGame going to look to make a play up towards top. It's going to be a 4 versus 5 rumble. So Unknown should have the advantage just in raw numbers. Plus, they have the vision advantage right now. But xGame, they are very, very defensively positioned. And Mag's RP with a Static Storm backup can instantly win xGame this fight. Plus, they have a Blink Dagger Batrider to make the initiation if the other heroes don't get the chance. They're going to see Mantis, first of all. Unknown, are they going to look to blink down there? It's probably not a good idea because only Axe and Brewmaster can go down there. I don't really see them doing anything right now.
And just this early on, usually you don't get so many standoffs, but there's a smoke now from xGame. Maybe into Roche. They have a Vengeful Spirit after all with a Wave of Terror maxed out. So they would be able to get Roche, I believe. At the moment, though, they're focusing a little bit more kills, or maybe get like a pick off and then go into Roche. Killing off Axe would be huge, because otherwise Blink Berserk's call into Roche Pit is going to be rather devastating to deal with. But they're going to give away the smoke at least. Arises in the mid lane. Now Mantis shows himself. So both teams smoke for absolutely nothing.
Well, they're going to see the Firefly off near their tier 2 mid lane tower. Bambo going to teleport in, looking for the call. This time Mantis does not have his ultimate ready. There's an RP and a swap out. Actually, Mantis is still going to be fine as Bambo's going to be brought down very quickly. Second Static Storm. Paris as well, unable to get his split off. Stallcat off to the side. Going to take a Finger of Death. Will be brought down in exchange, but it's going to be Mind Control to be on the run right now. He's going to get glimpsed back. He has backup here in fucking Mad and Magoma, but they don't really have that much mana. Mind Control still running through the enemies instead of towards his allies. Not really sure what the deal was there, but either way, Static Storm RP wins the fight for xGame. Reeves also looking for another glimpse. Won't find an angle for it, but Unknown just get crushed because they can't get that Brewmaster ultimate off.
Yeah, first of all, they need a dependent initiation themselves. They need at least 2 heroes in the Berserker's Call, I think. So a little bit unfortunate and definitely well done by xGame. They were so ready for this, of course. They were grouped up also, whereas Unknown, they still had a couple of heroes who had to TP in. Even the Ogre Magi TP'd in. He did get out of a kinetic field, but was still silenced for a little while, so couldn't Fire Blast anybody immediately. And it's just pretty devastating now. Spectre, he's not that great of a hero before you like get the Radiance or something. You don't farm all that fast. And so far the Spectre just... I mean, you can still haunt to disable Blink Daggers, but that's about all of his usefulness for now.
Well, because of the fact that basically Unknown didn't get the split out in the last fight, they're still going to be looking for a fight right now. And it looks like bottom lane is where they're going to go. They see the mag here, or they saw the mag here, and now they see him. He actually just uses Blink, so Jason's in a hell of a lot of trouble right now. Blink, Call, Impale, plus Hex is there, although none of that's really needed. They kill him before the Culling Blade can even land. So Mag gonna take a fall, and basically Unknown, they still have that split available. They'll go for a tower push, so they're not going to be slowed down too much by the fact that they lost the last fight, but the really scary thing is that Mantis is going to be, mind control of last game. He's 6-0-3. He's going to be, I'm expecting a Eye of Scotty build from him, and he is at it. Yeah, he has a completed Eye of Scotty, so it's hard to kill off this Lark ever. It's damn near impossible to kill him off now.
And they might even get Mind Control Reeves with the Invis Rune. He's going to get the Thunderstrike for vision. Haunt out of where is he going to haunt to? Top lane he goes. He might even get the kill, but then again he is last out. He needs assistance for sure, trying to TP out, and there is no Flame Break, not enough mana on Stallcat. Had he had the Flame Break, easy kills on Mind Control, I think. Paris also hovering around top lane, but there's no haunt anymore for the Mind Control Spectre to join them. So, Unknown this time around, they just cannot find anything. Almost.
They need to get the initiations off, but at this point, the Blink Call just isn't cutting it. The positioning of xGame is that their worst case scenario, they get 2 heroes called, but even then they have a swap out from Bignum because he's always in the back. So Bambo's initiating power, the power of his hero in general at this point, actually should be the most dangerous hero on the map, or one of the most dangerous heroes on the map, but it's just not the case right now. He's almost ignorable even from the xGame side, and that's just not supposed to be what the Axis is supposed to be doing right now. And my control in the mid lane he's getting an okay amount of farm, but the Radiance is going to be pretty darn light. 2400, 18 minutes in. If he's going to get uncontested farm for a couple minutes, yeah, he'll have it up eventually, but it's going to take a hell of a long time still, and they need another hero right now to step up Unknown, and it might be the Lion close to his Blink Dagger, but I don't even know if that's going to do it.
It is definitely extremely hard. I mean, Slark being this tanky, and he's more or less doubling the net worth of the Spectre, although, oh, Stalkat might be in trouble. The Glimpse was used into the Static Storm Paris. He gets out of it though, so he should be able to get off his ultimate. Indeed, he does. Now, suddenly Stalkat, he's going to get a lot of damage into himself. Reverse Polarity, never mind, was something else, but now Mantis, he's going to go for the Brewlings. The Earthband are pretty damn tanky as the tower is destroyed by Spectre in the meantime, so that's nice goal for him. Ignite thrown out by Magoma. And Brewmaster, can he blink out? Nope, he's gonna get jumped. Glimpse back as well. And he's gonna be the casualty of war. At least they get the kill and the tower, so it's gonna be worth it still.
Yeah, it's kind of curious that Unknown didn't decide to reinforce that at all. I guess they know exactly where xGame are. Such tight quarters, that's really where you want to have your Axe jump in there, but Axe, for whatever reason, Unknown decided to make the call not to reinforce that. I think they probably could have gotten away with a nice turnaround there, but they instead decided to take down a couple towers, and that's also pretty darn good. So, though they do lose their Brewmaster, less than ideal, they at least get something out of the exchange. Over towards mid lane, Magoma's going to get jumped. Reeves is here as well, putting up that field. Magoma's going to turn around for a multicast and a Stallcat, plus a Haunt in. Stallcat is in a lot of trouble right now. Mind Control is lacking damage, though. He's going to get glimpsed back. The damage might be enough. No Ignite. There's an Ignite. That'll get the kill from downtown. Stallcat's going to die. Blink forward, call. Bambo going to reinitiate onto Reeves, getting a couple spins here and there, looking for that dunk. Will land it. And now, blink forward, Spirit Rise going to look to make a trade. Bambo, 20 HP, going to try to limp away. Has a Blink Dagger. He will use it to get to the south. Shockwave, not going to be there. RP, not going to be there either. And Shockwave would have missed either way. xGame lose 2 heroes in the mid lane, though they do take a tier 1 tower up on the top lane. That's not really a trade you want to be making.
Well, certainly not, but since it's Mantis farming up, I guess it might be fine. But then again, although Slark is extremely scary as a core hero if he just gets the ball rolling, which he definitely has done so far, it's still only him being farmed, whereas the next 3 are on the side of Unknown. And although Axe would want some more momentum for himself, it's still fine for him. Has the Blade Mail finish now. Even if he does die himself, at least he's going to be able to return a little bit more damage now. Also, PKB is soon to be finished on Paris's Brewmaster. And, well, Mind Control, unless he dies in the next minute, he's going to have his Sacred Relic.
It's just one of the pieces that Spectre needs, though. Although it is very nice to not have to worry about that 3,800 chunk of gold in your inventory. Once you pick up the relic, you're still going to need, first of all, the Radiance. That's a little bit important. And then the next damage item and the next health item. And then you have to worry about actually performing with those items. The Spectre is still a very long ways away from being able to contest this Slark, who really just can play very fast and loose with so much backup. And the fact that he has, well, 200 damage a pop with 1900 health. This guy is dishing, and Spectre is nowhere close to being able to replicate that on the Unknown side. So xGame, they still have control of this game, and as you said, even though their other heroes don't really have that much farm, their other heroes don't really need that much farm. Magnus has a Blink Dagger, that's actually all he needs. Same exact thing for the Batrider. Yeah, 4 Staves are nice, and those will come up eventually because they're so cheap, but as long as Slark is getting gold, he will be able to carry xGame by himself.
Well, we'll see if that will be the case here indeed, and it might really come down to that, him having to kind of solo carry. Of course, like you said, Magnus doesn't really need any more items. One Blink RP might just decide the fight with Slark getting huge cleave through. Blinks in the meantime do go out. Jason doesn't catch anybody for now, but there's a smoke from Unknown. Roshan, probably not the target for them because they don't have the heroes to do it at all. BKB now, Slark, building rather defensively, but with this BKB it's just going to be even harder for Unknown to kill him.
Stallcat, he's going to get blinked, hexed, and impaled. There's a Haunt there as well. It's not going to do anything up towards top. It was just to get the kill assist, I suppose.
Did you
not
notice
exactly ideal,
Magoma not
but they get the
multicasting?
What?
Tactical non-multicast by the Ogre here.
Oh yeah, you don't need it. Like, you could either Finger of Death or multicast, but they don't even need that either. So they get the easy jump onto the Batrider, and that's a pretty deep Observer Ward from the Dire that is going to pay off. And they actually lay down another one, so they have pretty good map control, Unknown, over the Radiant jungle.
Yeah, and with this kill, Brewmaster has his BKB, so Static Storm until the Aghanims comes out won't be an issue for him at all. That's a huge thing, to be honest. That Primal Split so far has done quite a lot of work, if he has gotten it out, so we'll see how well he's going to be able to make that BKB work for himself. Oh, Blink Berserker's call, never mind. It was himself, I think, getting caught, and they have a glimpse as well still, yes. Glimpse back already, used second memo, there will be no escape. Pounce even misses, but it was just a matter of time before he fell.
Wait, why was Axe down there again? Like, what was the plan there? His
Bambo
allies
things,
were nowhere close.
Bambo things.
Just Bambo things, guys. Hashtag just Bambo things. Sometimes you just gotta suicide. At least he didn't like lose that much. He has a Mithril Hammer in his inventory, so maybe he's going to be heading towards the BKB zone. But of course, top lane, we have a jump in. Stallcat from very far away, though. There's 0% chance of that ever working. Fucking Mad might get blindsided here. Is going to get Finger Death on the Stallcat. Split there as well. Mantis, though, in the BKB is going to man-fight the Brewmaster and probably will not die, but he won't come out ahead either. Magoma, awkwardly stuck behind, is going to be fighting to the death right now, and his death is soon to be coming. Unknown taking a vastly scattered fight, and I really don't know what the point is of that. Magoma, maybe he could multicast his way to a kill, but even with the multicast onto Reeves, the point booster Ogre Club a little bit too tanky, so yeah, not really sure what that was for Unknown, but at least they get a Bat Rider, but still not a good trade.
Well, Mind Control does finish up a Radiant at the same time. If he had Haunt off cooldown, this fight could have been so different. Having Mantis' BKB there, well, there's the Haunt now. Okay, so Haunt's gonna be on cooldown. He might even get Reeves, never mind. That ain't gonna happen either. That's kind of a weird use of Haunt, and now it's suddenly just on a 2-minute cooldown, and once again, if a fight like that should break out, Mind Control will be unable to join it.
And the next fight that's going to break out is looking to be in the Roshan pit with Slark leading the charge. There is no lifesteal, I don't think, on any of these heroes, but they have a lot of minus armor. They have to worry about Axe blinking in, and Unknown, they know exactly what's going on right now. So maybe there's a chance that they could crash this party. Paris, though, doesn't have a split, and actually fucking Mad's going to catch Reeves with a spike. This should be the death of the Disruptor. The swap out is going to keep him safe for now, but Paris is right on top of him. It's going to be Bambo in the meantime to be in a little bit of trouble. So even Static Storm getting dropped very low. Will call, but he will go down shortly after. Paris now is going to get lasted up, going to try to TP away. Skewer is going to cancel that, and now he's awkwardly all alone as well. The rest of his allies up on the high ground, they probably shouldn't be looking to get in here. Magoma's going to take a Magic Missile to the dome, and then he will try to juke it out. Blink forward, fucking Mad getting a really nice impale onto 3. Mind Control, though, going to get jumped by Mantis. Very quickly going to be brought down. Fucking Mad, once again, with these spikes, going to be getting some pretty good value, but that's just not enough. Mantis is the one that they need to answer, because Mantis is the one who's killing their entire team.
I mean, the Spectre died to like a pounce and 3 right clicks, I think, from the Slark, and that was about it. I mean, having the Radiant just isn't nearly enough. The same story with a Naga Siren, really. You need, at the minimum, 1 extra item to follow that up. And he just needs to be farming, or farming when he has the Haunt up. But he wasn't able to do anything because Haunt was already used, which means he has to stick with the team to have a tiny chance of winning a fight. So without this Lion, without fucking Matt being there, it would have been just a complete disaster. But Slark survives, even gets an Aegis for himself, which of course means 2 lives. This Slark might just be too huge for Unknown to handle.
They need to like blink, Hex, Finger of Death, call him, and then do it, and then run away, and then do it again once he respawns. Like, playing around this Slark now is even harder for Unknown, and that I didn't even know that was possible for it to get any harder. Their Spectre is still nowhere near being able to contest this Slark's farm, and really that's what I was mentioning before, the inconsistency of Spectre just as a hero. This is going to be one of those games where Spectre is just going to be almost a non-factor. I mean, she will maybe get to a stage where she's going to be somewhat threatening, but compare her to the Slark and the backup that xGame have for that Slark, it's the consistency of their draft that's really coming through right now, and Unknown, they're just pretty much on the receiving end of it every single time.
Yeah, unfortunately so indeed. I mean, last time as well, jumping in without the Primal Split, huge mistake. At least Bambo will get himself that BKB soonish as well. Last time around he blinked straight into a Static Storm, so couldn't really do anything about that. Yule Scepter even finished up on Ogre Magi, so Magoma gonna be a little bit more mobile, might even survive or might stop somebody's initiation, for example with a nicely timed Yules. But even then, there's a long road for Unknown to climb. Not as long as xGame had to climb in the first game, to be honest, but I mean, if you look at the graphs, only about a 4k XP change. xGame, of course, leading slightly less than 2,500 in net worth. So the lead isn't huge, but it's just the heroes and what they have done so far with them.
Mantis has all the lead for xGame, and that's pretty much exactly what they want. Unknown, they're going to sacrifice their bottom tower, trying to make some sort of trade happen elsewhere. Bambo's going to force one TP back. And no, that TP was canceled, I believe. But Bambo's still going to get caught by Reeves, looking for that call. Haunt is there as well. This is going to be a very scattered fight. Don't really know if he's going to be favoring Unknown because it has to deal with a Slark. Spectre's not going to haunt in either. Finger of Death, not going to get the kill on Reeves, but with Ignite he will go down eventually. Now multicast onto the support Venge is also going to get a kill. 2 supports down for basically Unknown. And Mantis is nowhere near, although he's closing in fast. Unknown, they have to look to get the hell out right now. Magoma's going to stick his landing, and everyone else from Unknown should be fine to leave as well. That was a pretty risky play, but it ends up working out very well for basically Unknown if they don't lose anyone else in the retreat, and it looks like everyone else is going to be fine.
Risky is the right word for it, as Mind Control disables the blink, but oh god, the flame break, they saw him going in there. Reverse polarity committed into that pounce of Mantis. Oh god. That must be so unfortunate, and suddenly, I'm not too sure if the 2 supports were even worth the kill on the Spectre.
No, it's definitely not. Like, these 2 supports are, for xGame, not really relevant at all. As long as they have their ultimates up and their uptime is just so high that they'll always have their ultimates up, they're going to be able to do their job, where Spectre needs to be on the map constantly getting farm. So xGame, at first it didn't start out that well, and I don't really know how they saw the Spectre getting in there. Maybe just, like, the edge of Firefly or something like that, but either way, Spectre dying there is the worst possible scenario for Unknown, and that is by no means worth it. It's nowhere close to worth it for Unknown.
Man, life is sad sometimes, what can I say, but Monkey King Bar will be the item now finished up for the Slark. So Brewmaster's Drunken Brawler is gonna have 0 effect on Mantis, and he's hitting pretty damn hard, pretty fast also. They're gonna get the tier 2 now. Unknown, with the just Spectre being dead, they can't do much of anything with Spectre now. At least he has all of the abilities maxed out, so Desolate is maxed, as well as the Dispersion, so he's a little bit tankier. Has a double damage rune bottled up. Sexy Mambo will escape as well, no glimpse to catch him, I think. Then again, he's under reward. Disruptor, if he had a blink of his own. Still though, the double damage, Haunt, never mind double damage, I guess it timed out and activated itself, so even that won't be there for a fight, I think.
And top lane, Mind Control's in a little bit of trouble. Blink forward, Stallcat is going to get spiked in response. Finger of Death is there as well. Stallcat, without the rest of his team, is going to be going down. Paris going to secure the kill there. Bignum now awkwardly stuck here as well. Bambo looking for a call in. Mantis off to the side is not going to be able to do that much by himself, especially when he gets called by Bambo. Blade Mail's going to do a lot of damage to Mantis. Stack Storm also wasted. This is going to be a good fight for basically Unknown as to take off another hero right now. Paris still chasing forward with the BKB, looking for Reeves. Will make it 3-0. That amount of scatteredness from xGame, I mean, that's kind of where Slark thrives, but he was not able to do anything in that fight, and basically Unknown just blindsided xGame, or basically maybe xGame getting a little bit too far ahead of themselves, especially that Batrider play. Either way, Unknown get a free 3 kill, so that was kind of nice of xGame to give that away.
Yeah, and all of it did start from just a Batrider jumping in. He was so close to getting a lasso, had he gotten it, maybe would have been like 3 heroes getting wiped on Unknown instead, but could've, would've, should've, doesn't mean anything at all. And the thing is with Avengeful, if you want to swap somebody and save them, it's just going to be so sad if that hero dies anyway, because you're going to be in such a horrible position that there's almost no escape. At least there won't be any if you don't have a blink or like a force step or any kind of mobility, which of course this Venge does not. So Unknown, they're keeping themselves in the game, and I'd say it's not that disastrous for them. Looking at the graphs, XP is in their favor, in fact. Also, net worth, only about 800 difference. So, although the Slark is huge, xGame still cannot be making, like, such plays as they did.
And Axe has to be prioritizing Call and the Slark pretty much every single time, and if he could do that, just distract the Slark just a little while, and maybe return some damage to Blade Mail in the process, then the rest of the Unknown side has just so much time to go and kill everyone else from xGame, because everyone else in xGame, they're still pretty much dirt poor. Like, the last item that was picked up is a Force Staff on Arise. He's actually pretty close to a Refresher Orb. That could be pretty dangerous as well, but he's very far behind this Slark, and he's also pretty decently behind the rest of basically Unknown. So as long as Unknown are able to handle the Slark through hexes, through calls, or anything, then they're going to pretty much mitigate all the gold differential. And they're going to try to make that happen up towards the top lane right now. Blink, Hex is there. Mantis does not have a pact right now. The Chain Stun is going to be there. Magoma, time to multicast. Not going to land it there, but the Haunt is there. Plus the call. Mantis is completely screwed. Dunk going to miss, but an RP is going to come through, but Slark is already dead. Now Jason is all alone. He's going to be brought down in a hurry, and Batrider also is going to get caught with another spike. Fucking mad. Once again, playing out of his mind. Gets a Yule Scepter off to the side. Actually, it's Cyclone. From the Storm aspect, means Bignum is going to take a fall shortly after. Oh my god, wow. The perfect fight for basically Unknown. It literally does not get better than that.
Slark, so close to survival. Had that RP been like 1 second earlier, probably would have been the save, and Slark, he even got the Shadow Dance off, just that last counter Helix, man. Tiny bit of RNG for Axe coming out through big for them. And they're gonna get the tier 2, maybe so, if the creeps come close enough to disable the backdoor protection, but 4 kills, getting a... I don't even know how massive this Slark kill was for them, but getting 4 kills, getting a tier 2 down as well. Of course, they're getting like valuable items themselves now. If, for example, Brewmaster gets a Hex to follow, even Shiva's card would be nice, I guess, which never mind, gonna be an AC, some extra tank for themselves. They're gonna get another tier 2, my god, but Slark gets a Basher as well as an Aghanim for Disruptor.
Well, as long as Slark is not alive, Bits of the Unknown have nothing to worry about from the XGame side, so they'll take down most of the outer towers left from XGame, then they'll make a clean retreat. That was also a beyond godlike streak that was broken by the Ogre Magi, 10-1-7, that was Slark's first death, so Magoma's going to get that much closer to his Aghanim Scepter, and that's going to lend a little bit more into the Chain Stun. Like, the chances of multicasting is going to be relevant in that the multicast stun lasts longer, and as long as they could get chain stun on the Slark, then they'll be very happy about that, and that's where the Blink Dagger line comes into play. The instant Blink Hex, it was kind of slow. The Slark, I would expect to get the packed out or something, but I guess he just didn't expect that to happen. He was just blindsided by that line, and that was after having previously used Shadow Dance to dodge a Berserker's Call from Axe in the bottom lane like 20 minutes ago. This is Mantis getting maybe a little bit sloppy, maybe just didn't expect that to happen. Either way, he was brought down, and that just shows that Unknown, they actually can deal with XGame, and they can deal with the Slark. And if they bring down the Slark, again, the rest of XGame, they're no threats.
The thing is, though, can they kill off Slark like that with XGame being there from the start of the fight? That's probably like the biggest issue for Unknown. Yes, they could bring down Slark, but that was mostly like 5 versus 1 for like the first 5 seconds or so of the fight.
Yeah, that is true. And Unknown get the initiation, and as we were saying before, initiation is king in this game. Whoever gets it is going to be taking a lead. Stallcat's going to blink forward, looking for set initiation for his side. And this time, Mantis is actually here with cover. There's an Aghanim Scepter Disruptor ultimate, and that can just instantly win you a fight if you're XGame. So Mantis this time is...
I hope they don't fight now, because Magoma, he's going to get his Aghanim Scepter and 30 gold on the Ogre.
And that's an item worth waiting for, especially when it's just 30 gold away.
And he's so close to level 16 also.
Two Aghanim Scepters in the Courier. Look at this. Courier with plus 20 to all stats. Look at it. Beautiful.
Not too shabby at all. And Axe does have the level 3 ultimate. Last time around, the Culling Blade did let him down a tiny bit up against the Slark. Next time, gonna be that tiny bit easier. And apart from the Slark, just Finger of Death into Culling Blade, more or less gonna be enough to kill anybody.
All right, now we have a smoke up from XGame. Roshan is alive right now, so that's going to most likely be a focal point of this upcoming fight, and it looks like XGame are looking to start it by going up the high ground. There's an Observer Ward here for the Rain. They see exactly where Magoma is. He's going to be taking a lot of damage right now. Yule Scepter is there. RP going to be pump fake by Magnus. Actually used it only onto Bamboo right now. Mantis is going to try to focus them down. Calls there. Bamboo's distracting Mantis completely right now, where the Brewmaster going to go for Reeves and Bignum. Where's the Spectre in all this one? She's not in the fight. She's running awkwardly off to the side. So far, XGame haven't lost anyone, although Bignum and the Batrider are very, very low. Bignum is going to walk right into the Spectre, will die to the Raining Spur most likely, but Batrider gets to get away. Fucking Mad in the meantime getting brought down by Jason. Looks like he's going to fall short there, but Fucking Mad is going to get glimpsed back right into the clutches of Mantis. Will be yet another kill there for XGame. How did they not lose anyone there? I have no idea, but where was the Spectre there? Like, mind control
he got
haunted,
glimpsed
I think,
after the haunt.
Oh, okay. So you could always just reality in again, I suppose. But either way, XGame don't lose anyone. They take 2 kills. Not the biggest fight, but now not having to worry about a haunt and a split, they could just go into Roshan very easily.
Yeah, and suddenly things will get extremely hard. I mean, they didn't lose too many heroes there, so Unknown, I think it could have gone worse for them as well. But had the Spectre been there for or in the fight properly without getting glimpsed out, that would have been 2 supports down immediately, so almost. Plus, I think XGame, they might even have lost Mantis. Of course, that would have been a hard task for Unknown, but definitely might have happened. And suddenly Magnus, look at his code, has the Oblivion Staff already finished. That Refresher Orb is not all that far off, and although the RP wasn't that great, who's to say that, well, with 2 RPs, even if you catch like 1 hero each and get to kill them off, it's still gonna be well worth it, especially if Spectre should be one of them.
RP is still a pretty long stun, and if you get 2 of them off, chain stun someone for 7-ish seconds, then, well, I mean, that's going to be value time where the Slark is not going to have to deal with that one person, and maybe the Slark is actually going to have to go ahead and kill that person. And Slark is also very close to being 6 slotted. He has an Abyssal ready for him, and it looks like he'll jump over to Secret Shop, buy that one. He's one slot away from being completely maxed out, and that's pretty terrifying for Unknown because they're still struggling to deal with him. And, well, smoke up for Unknown. They're going to go through their own jungle this time. It's maybe going to result into something. No, they're heading the wrong way, so this smoke is probably going to be dead. I don't think it was spotted, but they see Mantis with a double damage rune, and that's not something that Unknown want to touch with like a 50-foot pole. That's a bad idea.
Well, maybe they still want to go, I'm not entirely sure. Hopefully not so, but they might catch up. The hunt is there anyway. Is it just a zoning one, scouting one? Not entirely sure, but a couple of heroes drop low. Sexy Momo, is he gonna catch up to somebody big enough? In some trouble. BKB is there already. Mantis has his own though. Paris completely whips. There's the reverse priority, number one. Can he get the secondary one? Stand up first, Earthspike to follow. They need to blow him up. Paris gets the Promise Split just barely before his death. Earthspike onto Stalcat, gonna mean the life of the Batrider. Mantis though cleans up the biggest hero, but multicast, oh god. Well, that's the Aegis. Can they get more? Reverse polarity kills himself into the blade mail. Fucking mad. Oh, Earthspike, a tiny bit off. 1 second miss there. Has to blink though if he wants to escape. Mantis stand up. No buybacks. Do they really want to keep on going? Paris comes in as well. There's the Berserker Skull, but they need the counter helixes. They need another dunk, and with the multicast. Never mind. Not enough mana for the dunk, but Ogre Magi, man. Aghanim Scepter, too great of a pickup.
Dude, Aghanim Scepter, Ogre Magi, and Aghanim Scepter on the axe right there being just huge factors there. But after all said and done, there were all of these flashy plays. It was, I think, once again, fucking mad to deliver. He was landing so many disables. He was keeping out of range of the Slark, so he got several hexes off in that fight. He has so many Earth Spikes, and yeah, they do lose their Spectre in the meantime, which is, of course, less than ideal, but Spectre was just occupying so much of the Slark's time. The fact that Paris got his split off there was also hugely influential over the course of that fight, and I think that fight just goes to show that xGame, they have this incredible gold advantage in the Slark, but it's only in the Slark, and he's not actively killing off everyone. Then the rest of xGame, they're pretty darn useless. They can't actually do too much outside of initiation. So Unknown, they're going to take a team fight. They're going to take a tier 3 tower, almost kill off the melee racks, but they kill off the Slark twice, and that is something that I honestly did not expect them to get done. Magoma's going to get lassoed back into Mantis. Looks like Ogre Magi is going to be a casualty here, but still, it's going to be very much so worth it for basically Unknown, though could have been a little bit better if they just stuck around a little bit longer for that Rax.
Yeah, I think just leaving like one hero behind to die. They need a few more smacks and that's it. Although Sexy Memo, he might be going for the big plays here. He does have buyback, maybe wants to go for a kill instead. Although I think going for Rax and the kill both might be a mistake. But he's gonna go in now. Maybe dunk the courier as well. Get the extra movement speed. Oh god! Sexy Memo, what a player. BKB, TP out. Backdoor protection of course was there, so he couldn't get Rax. But he gets quite a lot of gold for the team at least with this.
That was pretty slick. I gotta say, that was pretty smooth. It was like so incredibly risky, and I probably wouldn't say that that's like worth the risk, but he gets away, so risk be damned. If you make the play and you get out alive, then you're gonna be happy with that. It wasn't holding anything, unfortunately for him. He didn't like deny any huge items or anything like that, but Unknown, at the very least, after that last fight, are going to feel very comfortable moving forward in this game just because the Ogre Magi's burst damage, the burst damage of the entire team in general, and their ability to kill off the Slark is now present. And the odds of Slark selling his Hand of Midas to buy a survivability item as his last is very, very slim. Like, you don't actually want to go for something like a Satanic on Slark or anything like that, though it will help him quite a bit. Usually it's prioritizing damage above all else. So their ability to kill off the Slark Unknown is now very clear. That was even taking a fight against an Aegis. So while this is happening, Mind Control is getting a lot more farm as well. Has a Ghost Scepter just so he could stall out the Slark for more time. And it's not really what you want to be doing as Spectre, but it is a very good item against this Slark.
Yeah, I mean, if he can survive, he's just gonna have the Radiance Burn do damage for himself. Or, well, against the enemy that is. There is a BKB down now, finally on the Batrider, so he might not get completely screwed over once he wants to initiate himself. Fucking Mata running around with the gem, so they're getting some map control, and just look at their positioning. Unknown, they know that if like one of them gets caught and doesn't have buyback, that might be it. So they're gonna stay around, just clump up together. And funny thing is that Spectre, he's still number 4 in net worth. I mean, 2 heroes on their same team without having Midas or anything else have still surpassed him. So even with the Radiance, his farm isn't that great. Just imagine him having like Slark levels of farm. It would be so easy for Unknown to just win fights and win the game.
And the game would be pretty much over by then, but Slark is still very, very far ahead above everyone else in this game. But Unknown, they're actually starting to catch up. Like, there's 2 plate mails in the Brewmaster's inventory, one in the Assault Cuirass, the other one I can only expect going towards Shiva's, because probably not a casual plate mail, but this guy is going to offer so much extra survivability towards the predominantly physical damage coming out from xGame. Like, the 2 auras of AC and Shiva's are going to be huge, and not only that, the burst damage of Ogre Magi is there as well, so the longer you keep your allies alive, the more cooldowns you have to work with, the more Radiance burn you have, and really the longer it is going to take for Slark to actually get these kills, because if Slark is being kited, as hard as it is to actually kite a Slark, you'll be able to get a lot done while that Slark is being kited, because the rest of his team is not really too useful at this point. Outside of a swap and outside of their ultimates, really, xGame's heroes aren't really that useful.
Yeah, and I think just so far, Unknown, they've been managing to stay useful, especially on Sexy Bimbo and Brewmaster, just because both of them have managed to preemptively pop BKBs before the Static Storm. If that should go the other way around, if they get Static Storm before the BKBs, things might be pretty grim in the fights, especially considering there is still a 2-man or 2 RPs separately coming out. It just, man, Arise, I'm not sure if it's not his day or something, or maybe there's too much pressure because everybody knows him because of the Magnus. It's his favorite hero as well, I would assume, since every team stands in for, suddenly they pick the Magnus. So, just today hasn't been all that great for him, but then again, just with an Enigma, one huge ultimate might just decide the fate of a game.
Yeah, so he's going to have many, many shots moving forward this game. It's probably not going to end anytime soon, but whenever I say that, the games tend to end immediately afterwards. He will have another shot or two to get this double RP off, or even just, one RP onto one target, another RP onto another. That's going to be fine as well. So this mag is able to influence this game a lot, just he hasn't really gotten there just yet. I would say overall the contributions to the team, fucking Mad's Lion has had just a lot more than this mag. Not only just in terms of damage, but in terms of staying alive and opening up fights with hexes and earth spikes and such.
I mean, fucking Mad, he's just on a roll today. Excellent plays on the Lion. It's hard to say if it was better than the first game Sand King, but at least on the same level, if not better.
And just give him these like impale based skills, and then he's going to be lining everyone up and knocking him down. So he's doing pretty well for Unknown right now, but of course this game is still very far from over, guys. But as this game is progressing into a stalled out state, xGame, they have a very farmed Slark who's very close to being 6-slotted. That's actually bad for xGame, because that means that Slark is not going to have any significant increases in power, whereas Unknown, they're still getting a lot of farm. They have so much room to progress with their items. Like, look at Spectre. Her inventory has a heart in the works, has a Ghost Scepter to, I suppose, eventually sell, and an empty item slot. Like, Mind Control is a very, very long way off until he's actually 6-slotted.
Yeah, it's just gonna be that much farther off because of the fact that he has to save for buyback at the same time. So he's not gonna get 6-slotted anytime soon, unless they really just win another fight, get like Rax Gold or something like that. But looks like both teams not really taking any chances unless the fight will be completely on their own terms. So I think the Roshan, which just now respawned, I believe, might be the next point of contention for both teams, and probably will be. Mind Control though, hopefully he can go in normally into the fight without having to haunt, just because then if he dies he's gonna have a way to re-enter the fight.
Well, he's right now not in the place that Spectre really wants to be. If you're going to be going for a Roche fight on the Dire, you want your Spectre to be pushing the top lane or a side lane or something like that. And well, probably not the bottom lane because that's just too dangerous. So top lane is pushing in towards the xGame side of the map. It's not really a big enough creep wave to make them really worry about losing their tier 3 tower outright to creeps or anything like that. Fortunately for them, Unknown don't really have a great Roshing lineup. They'll be able to kill it off very safely because they have like a million resistances on the Brewmaster, 72% physical resist. So killing off Roshan is possible for Unknown, but it looks like they're not even going to try to contest this. They're just going to make it so that xGame, if they go for a Roshan, are going to be in a position where Roshing is going to be not the safest plan. And as long as that's there for Unknown, then they're going to extend the game.
Oh god, if they get this Roche with cheese and ages, it's going to be massive. And this is one of the cases where not being 6-slotted is going to be good for a carry, because Mind Control will have easy space to pick up that item, and with this he can finish up the Heart of Tarask, for example. So it's going to get a lot more value, and the thing with the Spectre is, thanks to that dispersion, the more HP you have, the more damage you have to take before you die, the more you're going to output yourself just with the dispersion. Getting a percentage of your damage taken out as AoE damage. So that's huge for them. Also, all of them being level 16, so we have all of their maxed ultimates ready. And Slark, he's level 25, so he's almost completely capped out with items. Does go for the refresher orb now. He's completely capped out on XP. There's just nowhere to go for him. That's the ceiling.
Yeah, maybe ditch the power treads to travels, but that's not really going to be helping his fighting potential. The refresh orb is a kind of an interesting item pickup. It is a survivability item for Slark just because of Shadow Dance, but survivability for Slark means more damage moving down the line. It is possible for Unknown to bypass that and just use the call and then try to chain stun him if they time that perfectly. It's a possibility, although slight. Unknown, I don't really know if they should be making this push right now. I mean, they're still up against xGame, and Batrider initiating while defending his own base is probably one of the scariest heroes to deal with, so yeah, I don't really see the point in this. I would throw their Spectre up towards the top lane and then just try to, again, just prolong the game as much as possible.
Well, I think from that one fight that Unknown did lose where the Spectre haunted in, got glimpsed out and couldn't do anything else, that might be one of the reasons that they're not having the Spectre to split push. Also, just being alone somewhere up against the Batrider team is hard, but oh god, Mantis is gonna be blowing the smoke, but Magoma, it's a perfect target to go for. Haunt is there for static storms of Magoma. Can he get his tons off? Still alive. Yule Scepter keeps him alive for a little bit longer. Reeves, stunned up, Finger of Death picking him. He's gonna sacrifice himself as Magoma. He's gonna lose his life, but Mantis, can he do enough? They're gonna get, in the meantime, a Rise down and Mantis. He's in the middle of everybody. Gonna get thrown up in the air and probably taken out. They have a Hex on fucking Matt. Memo, oh, misses a little bit, but Hex will get the kill with the dunk, and Wolf Stalkat does survive, but they only kill the Ogre.
And he won't live for long. A blink forward, another spike, fucking mad, gonna get yet another kill. Instant buyback from the Slark, but as powerful as Slark is, he can't fight this many heroes. As long as Lion has mana for a Hex, and he does, there's no chance the Slark can actually get this done. Did he use the Refresher Orb? He did, so he has another Shadow Dance, but I'm pretty sure there were 0 RPs in that last fight. It was Unknown just collapsing on xGame so damn hard that they couldn't actually do anything. The Slark is their front line. The Magnus is their front line, and you get initiation on the Ogre Magi. It's a difficult hero to kill off because of how tanky he is. So Unknown, they collapse perfectly. They deny xGame any chance of actually taking a team fight, and they ignore the problem of the Slark. It was Magoma to take all the heat from that hero, whereas the rest of the heroes were basically on the aggressive the entire time. So Unknown, they clean up xGame. They take 2 sets of Raxes, and if they want to retreat or if they want to fight, either way, it's going to be fine for them. Paris and Mind Control thinking about it. Dambo especially thinking about it. Jump in. BKB is there. Finger of Death onto Bignum. Stack Storm is there, but already the Vengeful Spirit's going to take a fall. Mantis is going to do what he can versus Paris, but he has so much resistances. Another failed call onto Reeves. Looks like he will survive right now, but Vengeful Spirit's the only one to die. 2 minutes still with that Aegis, and Unknown will make a clean retreat. This Slark, man, he's so farmed, but it's just not doing enough. There's a blink forward for an RP. Jason's gonna have another one, which will connect onto 3. This is pretty bad for Unknown, but they're just not dying right now. The cleaves through from Mantis finally gonna come through. Will result into 2 kills. Spectre also in a lot of trouble. Will go into that Ghost Scepter form. Has an Aegis as well. Meantime, fucking Mad is going to have to deal with Stallcat right now. Magoma is going to fight up against Mantis. Will lose his life again, but will buy a lot of time for the Spectre to get away. Him and fucking Mad going to be the sole survivors after that, maybe sticking around for a little bit too long, but still Unknown taking a decisive lead in this game.
Pretty much the Ogre Magi, he had respawned, ran in just to get killed by Mantis, and finally we have those RPs. First one was a double RP, then the skewer back. Second one, beautiful triple RP, and Slark got some pretty huge cleave value out from there. Axe even got to use the cheese. I thought he didn't just because he died pretty damn fast, but Axe, he has another 8,000 gold. Spectre sitting on 5k also. Maybe pick up Boots of Travels even. Maybe go for something else entirely, and that something else is gonna be, by the looks of it, is the Lincoln Sphere with this ultimate orb, or is he going for Hex?
I mean, this late in the game, Hex is just the best item that you could get, but nah, I have no idea. Like, does it actually really matter? Like, Unknown, they're taking all these fights so perfectly. A Hex is going to just jam it home even harder. Man, Hex is good on anyone. Just get Hex.
Yeah, it's for a second I thought like maybe Skadi, but him sending the courier out with the ultimate orb was like, something from the side shop with that ultimate orb. Of course, that moment is saving for buyback anyway, so Skadi and Hex are out of the question. Aegis will be reclaimed in about 10 seconds, so definitely buyback will be a necessity. I think Boots of Travels in the meantime up on Sexy MMO, even gets himself a Morbid Mask, never mind, sells it once again, it's a Ghost Scepter instead. I was like, Mask of Madness Axe? Just new ways to throw a Sexy MMO, I don't know.
Dude, you use Berserker's Call, you're taking no damage anyway, you might as well get some attack speed going. But yeah, I was just watching the recording on the other screen, and what happened in the last fight with Mag was that the Haunt was the first thing to pop for Unknown, and because of that, he had no way of getting into the fight. Now he has a Shadow Blade and a Force Staff. So
he had a Shadow Blade
his ability
before
to
that
get in
already.
there for the double RP is there, but Blink Dagger being shut down by Mind Control, like, we kept on mentioning it, but there, for sure, it was having a large impact in the game.
He had the Shadow Blade for like at least 5 minutes, I think, before that fight already, just unable to do anything with that. I mean, it's a sneaky thing. Sometimes you see like Faceless Voids going for a late game Shadow Blade just to get that one surprise initiation to win a fight, force a couple of buybacks, or if they don't have buybacks, win the game because of that. But xGame, they just really haven't been in a position to use that Shadow Blade. And of course, fucking Mad himself running around with the gem. Then again, maybe not the greatest hero to have the gem on, just because he's staying the farthest back every single time.
Yeah, but he's also being ignored, so I guess holding a gem is going to be fine. They had 2 gems at one point. I don't really... Oh, there's one on the courier, so just back at one. But they initiate onto Mind Control. Lots of damage going the way of this Spectre. Blink forward, Bambo, going to bail him out with the call. RP is there as well, but Spectre will go down, instantly buying back. Haunt is there, going to go to town onto 1. That's Disruptor down. Now towards Bigdom with Multicast. That's 2 down. Stallcat going to be a 3rd. Buybacks from the Axe as well. Where is the Slark? He's in the middle of everything right now. Another RP from Mag, going to get through everyone with those cleaves. Multicast on Jason, though. 4X, going to kill him off. Now onto Mantis they go. He has a Shadow Dance, but he can't quite get it off. The damage is going to be there. The blind AoE damage with the clap. Not going to do it either as Axe takes another fall. Mind Control dying back into this fight. Paris still alive. Another Multicast. Going to get another kill. Magoma going to throw another Fire Blast towards Stallcat, whereas Jason and Paris just going to duel it out. But this is not a fight that Magnus can win. Magoma still alive right now. They don't have that gem. Where is Lion? He brought back. He's very slowly approaching back into this fight, but they get another Multicast onto Jason with the right click damage of the Assault Cuirass and the Brewmaster doing so much towards this Mag. But Magoma fighting to the death. His death isn't coming, but here comes fucking Mad to clean out with the Finger of Death. Only the Batrider is alive, and the Ancient is dying. Unknown have done it. Despite a Slark with 34,000 net worth, they win the game, and with a clean team wipe at that.
Yeah, those RPs, I mean, the last 2 fights, they were pretty decent RPs, I do have to say, from Arise. Just a tad too late there, and Mind Control, had the Slark not died here, it would have meant that the Spectre just died back, then there would have been a chance to just go counter Ancient pretty much, but Ogre Magi, too freaking strong with the Dagon Scepter, so much value. Also Axe getting the Berserker's Call off just before his death, more or less, or just before getting stunned up by an Abyssal Blade, I think it was, or maybe the RP. But all in all, man, great game, basically Unknown. They just fought themselves back from God knows where. This Slark, we thought is big enough, but in the end it wasn't, guys. So basically Unknown, they advanced to the next round of the lower bracket, the last one to be played. It is going to be Balkan Bears versus basically Unknown, which, funny enough, is going to be the next matchup on this channel. Of course, it's going to be for a different cup, but we'll see who's going to get to Division 1 for the next season, Season 5 of Join Dota League. But the next game here will be at 19:30 CT, so about 1 hour and 30 minutes away. Basically Unknown versus Balkan Bears. It is for the Bridal League, the winner bracket final for the playoffs there. So lots of Dota to come, guys. Of course, thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed, be sure to follow HeflaTV on our Facebook and Twitter pages, HeflaTV for both, to get updates when we're going live with what games and on what channels. And for the casters, at Coucher for me, at Mike Loris for my co-caster. And any last words?
Just congratulations to basically Unknown. xGame, you know, they put up a pretty serious fight, but it's hard to combat a late game Spectre with this much backup. I would say the fantasy points not really accurate on the basically Unknown side, but still a win is a win, and good luck versus BBC to them. Yeah,
they definitely will need it. The next game, just having like one stand-in every single game definitely hurts them a little bit. So at least they're a good team. We saw a great fight, a great game. But guys, this is it for now. We're going to be back in about 1 hour and 30 minutes with basically Unknown versus Balkan Bears, another best of 3. Until then, a couple of songs before I close the stream, and it's going to be restarted probably in about an hour or so. So see you at 19:30 CT, guys.